Welcome back to STL Live. I'm Sarah Thompson, and my guest is author, illustrator, and founder of Happy Fun Books, Dan Killeen. It's great to see you.
Good to see you.
So let's talk about the school visits that you do, because I follow you on Facebook, and I see when you post photos.
Sure.
We've got a few. Talk about that. I mean, you're going and talking about what it's like to write a book and also illustrate, or what are you doing at the school presentation?
Sure. Yeah, school visits are great. Just a ton of fun. There's nothing like getting up in the morning and driving to some school to talk to kindergarten through third graders. And so what I'll typically do is I'll do a quick slideshow of like an overview of the books, and then how I make the books, the illustration process. And I'll also show them pictures from when I was a kid, so they can see me as a kindergartner. And I'll show them a picture of my big family, or a picture of my sister and I coloring when we were little kids. So they get a sense like, okay, this guy's, he's been there. He's just like us. He's one of us. And I try to encourage them to, because we're pre-internet childhood.
Yes.
And so I try to encourage them, like, you don't have to go home and just get on the internet or play video games. You could go home and get out a bunch of paper and draw and color stuff. So there's a little bit of, evangelizing that message of trying to do hands-on creative stuff to the kids. And then I get into the book, and I'll read the book, usually the most recent book. And then at the tail end, I'll do a drawing, like on a big oversized pad, so that classroom can keep it, and they have something to remember the visit by. So that's a typical school visit.
How do the students respond? I mean, when you were talking about just emphasizing drawing, I mean, because yes, now with technology, a lot of kids want to go home and just be on an iPad and play a game or something. But I mean, how do they respond when you talk about that?
Well, fortunately, I've gotten reports from teachers and librarians that there's like a mini explosion of creation from these kids, who teachers have said, after your visit, the kids wanted to, get out and draw stuff and write stories, or they brought some in the next day and they showed me, some stories that they made up or just drawings that they did. So that's a good impact when that happens, I think. And sometimes they give me, I'll get like a little package in the mail of cards that they drew. They redrew some scenes from my books, and so that's the, or just stuff they make up on their own. So it's great.
And with your work, it is so fun that it is just naturally engaging, I think, for the kids. So you were just, I want to switch kind of talking about events, not necessarily school events. You were just at Comic-Con, is that right?
Right, yeah.
So talk about some of the other stuff you do outside of when you're visiting the schools.
Okay. So schools are weekdays, of course. On weekends, if there's a cool event like Comic-Con, the big St. Louis Wizard World, we were there. We had a table next to the Ren and Stimpy guy. That was kind of neat. So he had a big crowd, and we sometimes got his overflow. But people are actually happy to see us at those events because we're one of the kid-friendly tables, but that are still pretty fun. So you'll see someone dressed up as like Darth Vader or something, and they'll stop at our booth and like, I need to get this for my kids, So that's fun. In a couple weeks, what are we doing? Working Women's Survival Show.
Oh,
yeah. And so events like that, 4th of July or Christmas shopping events.
And you're there selling your books and just interacting with people and answering questions, doing little interviews.
And doing free drawings for any little kid that walks up and talking to them. And so they're a ton of fun.
So when I'm looking at your illustrations, I know this might seem like a silly question, but have you always illustrated in the same way since you were younger? I mean, do the characters, if I looked at something you sketched, 25 years ago, would it look like this?
Somewhat, yeah. So I've always had sort of this cartoon style. I grew up with a lot of artists in my family, and some of them are more portrait painters or architects, and I'm like, they're good at that. I can't match them. I'm going to veer off into cartooning. So I did, and it's, this has sort of been my style, and it's very comic strip influenced, I'll admit. My heroes were Charles Schultz and Bill Watterson and Sergio Aragonés, and a couple of New Yorker cartoonists, and it's fun. It's kind of a good way to get a joke out, I think, with just a facial expression.
Yeah.
But,
no, you do an amazing job, really. I think obviously for St. Louisans, but capturing the city in such a fun way for kids to relate to. But thank you so much for coming today. And we've got the information there for you on the screen if you want to purchase Robert and the Robots as well as Dan's other books. You can go to happyfunbooks.com, or you can follow him on Facebook or Twitter at Dan O. Killeen or at happyfunbooks.com, or again, head to the website at happyfunbooks. Oh, I just said that .com, but I meant the Facebook. Your Facebook handle is Happy Fun Books. All right, well, thanks again for coming. Thank you. All right, well, there's more STL Live right after this. Please stay with us.